InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic beings, and it's a talented Tuesday. Welcome back to today's Daily Snippet. Once again, I am your host, a practicing holistic Sha medium and subtle energetic surgeon. My intention is to use the power of these indigenous technologies, our original divine blueprint, to navigate our soul's harmonic through the realm of the elementals, the elemental highway, and into those imaginal realms, the subtle energies, elements, and elemental beings, and so much more. With offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to add to your own personal juice, your container. But my goal truly is to merge the wisdom of these indigenous ways, these technologies, with those subtle realms into the etheric highway to assist you into navigating your prime directive, your inner genius, just reintroducing you to the magical being that I believe resides within each and every one of us. I call myself a holistic Sha medium. My name is Tonya Dee, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And if you can hear Lily crying in the background, not sure where she's at, but she might jump up and join the show. You just never know, quite frankly. But just in case you missed yesterday's muse, I do have a couple of announcements, which you should be getting in your inbox soon if you have subscribed to my Musing newsletter, my Musing with Tonya Dee podcast. This season I coined as being otherworldly. So if you feel the call to connect with Archangel Chamuel is the angelic being associated with the season of Taurus. But you can listen on TonyaDee.tv, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you're ready to explore a pink shield of protection or the pink rays of this angelic being and so much more. And also, just to add to some spice and have some fun, I also have a super juicy eclipsed moon on the horizon, the new moon in Taurus. I'm so stoked about it. But it's at the frequency of Taurus, so our heart and our feelings. It's about loving and trusting. So the sun and the moon are in this collaboration to really manifest, to take energy to matter, to really take shape, to create a form. So the Musing Moon meditation is out. I have links for both, actually, the podcast and the show notes for the supermoon. But following that, if you're also feeling the call to learn about the energy body Demystified, which is another super juicy container, the body from energy to matter, it too is at a savings of, it's only $666 instead of the $999. And angelic numbers again, so you get to save 333. So it's from the 9s to the 6s. It's all about energy, frequency, and vibration. So, and how was your day yesterday? I kind of had a meltdown myself, but the magic is always on the other side. So on the other side of the meltdown, we have the breakthrough. So it's this frequency of the cosmos is one of peace, reconciling our peace, being in the conscious state of awareness, creating peace in those rivers, those conscious river streams, a life fulfilled with peace. So we go from this elevated angelic perspective, the words inside of us, words, not worlds, or worlds actually, now that I say that out loud, just taking the solar plexus energy, the causal field, to the frequency of our throat center, and balancing energy in our throat. If it's scratchy. So you may need to recalibrate your hearing sister within yourself, your ClairAudience, but it's time to take our own capital back. So we do deserve to be acknowledged, appreciated, and verifying ourselves. And we should all be validated for our amazingness. So sometimes the one to do the validation is ourselves, our own heart center. We know our self-worth. Why would we allow somebody else or something outside of ourselves to lower our personal constitution? So be in a space of consciously sending love to your chalice, pouring love in the chalice so the waters of peace may flow through and out, right? InShalla, the will of the divine, and always Ashe, blessings to you and through you. And I also want to give a shout out to those of you that comment and like and share my show. It really is a domino effect, what we're creating and we're sharing and we're lighting up all those threadways. But if you would like a message, a personal message for your day, it's simple. Just sharing me is definitely sharing you. So simply take the action to like, comment, or share in the super juice. And I will set the stage for you too. And also, one other thing, if you haven't already, please do be kind and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tonya Dee. Hit the bell button so you get notified when I go live. And also, if you don't mind, liking the video, sharing, so that algorithm on YouTube will suggest me to like-minded musers in the galactic universe. So, and along with all the other social channels, Instagram, TikTok, my podcast, Musing with Tonya Dee. And if you do wish to dive deeper, head on over to my Musing corridor where I have offerings to guide you. This season, the season of April, I have been highlighting the energy body Demystified. That offer is really in my Musing corridor, again at a savings. The link is in the show notes as well, along with a coupon code that will expire on midnight of April 30th at club.tonyad.tv. So I am your holistic shaman assistant, but you are your own healer, and sometimes we just need a shamanic coach to see beyond the beyond, sharing insight into an otherworldly perspective. So wherever you are, I will for sure meet you there. And if you are a budding new intuitive, and we're all intuitive, by the way, however, I would recommend uncovering secrets of the other world and adding voices of the other world to your library. Both are in the corridor, again, at my Musing Club. But being that we are in the frequency of peace, our inner peace, our world of reconciliation, clarity, becoming clear about something, water. If I was to do a divination, I would be looking into the realms of water, the elemental realm of water. But today, energetically and frequency, I'm going with the Seers, because the beings of light, I just love the beings of light, actually. Actually, I love all my decks. They all have different messages. But first up, we have strength, and who doesn't need strength, right? But it's also number 8. 8 is Saturn. Saturn is our authority, our career, our leadership, all the 10th house stuff. But being that Saturn is in Aquarius, this is like raising our vibration, our own inner authority, actually out into the outer world. But being that this is otherworldly, this is like being blocked by fear. Saturn is also what we fear. It's also self-doubt. So it brings it to the forefront. So it's a reminder not to be guided by that lizard part of our brain. Maybe we need to exercise some self-control. Saturn's also control. Decisions, committing, just removing those self-destructive kinds of impulses. So it's time to be brave, embody our light, shine courageously in the face of danger, fear, uncertainty, and step into patience, which actually was yesterday's message, and fierce serenity as we exert our graceful influence for the greater good, being an influencer. So there is great resilience in having a calm heart. It's a gentle denominator, a demeanor. And sometimes, we do mistake that for weakness when we share our gifts of relentless love with the world. So just allowing confidence and composure to be that guiding light towards our desires, what our heart authentically desires, without the use of excessive force or aggression, and just being mindful and having that mindful awareness. It's going to be so much more useful than rigid control, right? So the message reminds us to kind of stand strong in our beliefs and our desires, and to maintain, to remain steady, as we really bring compassion to our current situation to get into the flow. We are all powerful, and we all have a purity of heart, and we can be a beacon of strength and inspiration to the village around us. So I would say deliberately bring self-compassion, bring your strength forward, use it for the good and the gooder of the world, not just for ourselves, right? That inner strength, be that foundation. And then we also have the moon. The moon in all her glory. Look how juicy she is. But you can also see here, there's also an 8. So this is actually committing to our heart's desires before taking the action. And being that the moon is in Pisces, this is spirit. So this is spirit having an emotional conversation with spirit. And this is where the illusions, the hidden truths, the unknowns, trusting our intuition, facing those fears, the watery nature of the abyss within our unconscious mind, the mysteries, the symbolisms, the metaphors, perceptions, even uncertainty, or just our lucid dreams. So when we're faced with uncertainty, that illusion, it may feel as if we are drowning. That's kind of what she looks like there in the picture. So trust, love and trust that you are going to be okay, even if you can't seem to distinguish the ups from the downs at the moment. So when we stop struggling to see that which we simply cannot see, because it remains mysterious, it remains hazy, beyond shadows of the moonlight, that's when we experience a deep release that's going to allow us to float to the surface of our truth, which is super juicy. So the moon is really asking us to go within, find comfort in the darkness, and to calmly listen to the whispers of our own intuition. There is divinity and there is magic there. So when we fall into the moon's still waters, those peaceful streams, the essence of the peace, our inner wisdom will embrace us, pushing us towards the light. It's kind of like an ocean's wave or a current, reinvigorating our creativity and kind of resurrecting our spark in a way. So as long as we go beyond our own fears to find her, dive into that healing embrace, breathe past the insecurities and away on the exhale, just let it go and let her dimly lit magic guide us home. The moon, right? The essence of the moon. So knowing that we are safe, we then reach new levels of this unconscious knowing as we surrender to the will of the universe. Can't make that shift up, especially with the eclipse coming on. Start taking those messages to heart, right? And then we have the 10 of Cups, our final message. So this is really about this upcoming new moon and Taurus. 10 is manifestation. It is paying attention to what it is. We want to manifest the foundation. It is Taurus. It's the Earth star. It's loving and trusting consistently for the entire Taurus season. Every little nugget that comes to the cosmic chalice. So emotions bring us the bandwidth to manifest. So we manifest from our feelings and our heart, giving time and space to our sacred chalice. Are we putting in the time, giving our manifestations the space to grow and nurturing ourselves from the inside to the outside? So the moon herself, right, with emotions, we are in the emotional streams apparently, but maybe there's some disharmony or some disputes, miscommunications even. Are we struggling in our relationships, or do we have unrealistic expectations? Maybe we're just not feeling worthy of love or having a delay there. So the message here has this powerful energy of connected hearts, galactic love, devoted acceptance. It's pure love in essence, but it's often seen as this one big happy family. So it is a giant yes for relationships and love, and it kind of has that frequency of the fairy tale ending, if you will, where we get to decide what the soulmate is, or this unicorn ending for myself, what that looks like. I'm a reflector, so we're unicorns. However, allowing our heart's energy to expand, to pour into all of our connections, love, right? Love connected, streaming like the rainbow in the card, including those within our communities. So being that it's otherworldly or in shadow, it may suggest that we need to look at how we feel about ourselves within relationships, partners, all kinds, not just the intimate ones. So if we are looking for a white picket fence in order to find our happiness, remember that our joy will only come from the inside out. So by waiting for other people or even better things to create our own happiness for us in our chalice, we're kind of undermining our own power to create those feelings of love. So bring in gratitude, generosity to our life in the everyday, in the moments, and focus on the others as well, so then you can give them your energy and your time through kindness and doing something of service. So just living in the state of the oneness field by bringing harmony and love to our chalice, our sacred chalice, the relationships. You know, they are sitting on those rainbow streams, right? So love may be in the air, or you may be feeling that your self-worth or value isn't in alignment with the relationships that you are in, work or otherwise. So it's kind of juicy. And on the elemental highway, we have a Yin Earth of a day, a Yin Earth Rooster of a day, a Yaya Yu. Rooster is Yin metal, it's refined metal. So our day is pretty solid. It's warm during the month of the dragon. The soil is warm. So this is a day of fame. And we have wood, we have water. So there's status, there's authority in life. And Yin Earth has the ability to store the water, to store the wealth. So we do need the sun to nourish the earth. We always need the sun, right? A river, yin water. Those are really the most needed elements for our day. Our day is fertile, so the soil is going to be birthing through things, growing all living things. Very resourceful, creative, natural nurturers, could be coaches. Just loving to see things grow. That's what lights up their heart. That's what brings them pleasure. And they adapt to their environment. It allows them to make the most of where they are and what they have. No matter what life is throwing at them, they seem to know their self-worth until somebody else makes them see it. They're kind of blinded by the light in a way. But they too have all the resources they need for almost anything. So our day may be a little bit mothering, Yin Earth, needs to take care of others, putting the public over our personal interests, readily available to help when there is no one else to turn to. So they can push on through and be counted on, just loving to relish in their mind. They have these stimulating thoughts. They love to ponder, be curious, question everything. That's how they come up with innovative solutions. So in doing so, they do not get lost in their thoughts. They see things clearly. They do have a photographic memory, so they have the ability to remember almost anything. So they also have an amazing memory retention as well. So they go with their gut feelings. They don't focus really so much on the bottom line. They're principled. They stick to principles, especially when they need to make a judgment call. So it's integrity. It's our moral code. Those are their virtues. Living a life of luxury, comfort, and privilege. I'm hearing Lily crying in the corner, not sure what's going on. But usually Yin Earth people are they're full of talents. They need to be productive. They need to produce. They need to be put to use by exploring Earth. So they're like the soil. They can never be entirely exhausted. They always find ways to replenish and offer more in another cycle or another season. So Yin Earth doesn't like sit idle. It's not like the mountain sitting idle. They can wait for someone to call on them, ask them for help. That at their core, that's how they really help people to grow. Their strongest season is the summer, being born in those summer months. So the sun is a need for our day. We do need the big sun for our day to be supportive, nurturing, having those maternal instincts, being productive, being innovative, firm, but also patient, peace. But some famous Yin Earth people, they have influences, the day master, the main element, the Yin Earth. That's what I'm talking about. So Henry Ford, if you have watched Ford versus Ferrari, super cool. Yin Earth energy there. I'm not talking about the month year. That's kind of what I was trying to say earlier. Just the day master, the Yin Earth. So Henry Ford, totally watched Ford versus Ferrari. He always made things glow and grow. Morgan Freeman, Quentin Tarantino, just to give you some ideas. Mel Gibson and Bruce Willis, they come back. So with the cosmic energies being that we are all part of it, who we are, the star of who we are, the fields, the centers, the pathways, we all have nature inside of us, and the season of Taurus is how we're going to manifest. We're upcycling our worth. So today, just be open to what you are worth and receiving the energy, the creativity, the peace, the harmony, the ideas even. So when we combine the frequencies of the earth, we open up to receive the hearing sister. She's online, ClairAudient. So it's this grounding energy. It's a sensual energy. So it's going to be an amazing day to go within and solicit our inner solitude. Go out and enjoy the sun, be out in nature, plant some flowers, a garden. Just make it an amazing day, a beautiful day to really take the pause, take a break. It can be sometimes difficult, maybe chilly. When we are creating space of relaxation, the space turns maybe into chaos. So our heart is in alignment to have a cup of tea. And if your friends come over and trying to booze it up, you may become a little bit agitated because we need those peace streams coming in. So sometimes the frequency of the day, we have springs of emotions that are bubbling through, things that are rising up from the surface, the earth. Could be anger, could be anxiety, etc. Could be negative Nelly thoughts even. So these things, feel more physical. They're taking form. That's what happens in the season of Taurus and the Earth star. Things take shape. They become matter. So you may create a big thing out of a little thing. So again, take the time, take the space to nurture the magical being that you are. But being open to ideas, ones that are innovative to our own personal container of self-worth, self-esteem, self-values. So really just feel into what resonates for you. We've got two streams of our mind. One channel comes up from the Earth star and the other channel comes down from the galactic universe. So it's like, are you arguing with God about your self-worth? Or are you being conditioned to what that even is? Or are you flowing and accepting a new bubbling spring of self-worth? So you may be like teeter-tottering, going back and forth, swinging around about your own personal worth. But go to your chalice, the palace of your heart, the star that we all are. So it's as if we are in the waters of peace and compassion, creating peace between our thoughts and our feelings. It's kind of like when your mom puts you in timeout in the kitchen chair or in a corner. So just accepting our own worth with an open chalice, and see kind of areas of your life and access places that you are really upcycling your worth, acknowledging, accessing, and accepting that we are in this arena to accept that offer, receiving the truth, the messages, possibly a karmic pattern within ourselves. Maybe a karmic pattern's been coming up for you. So it's a day to cultivate, restore balance, fairness, faith, compassion, I think too, but be in a space, trusting our heart, loving and trusting. So it's time really to love ourselves from the inside to the outside without any judgment, judging our past mostly, feeling into it and just sensing how it feels, and just notice, take note. Possibly open up to new ways to receive yourself, to believe in yourself, believing in ourselves out into those future pathways, beliefs where you may have been too naive, maybe you were a little skeptical, just uncovering those spaces and those places. So it's time to go with what our heart believes, and understanding that it's time to really surrender to the queen that we are, the star that we are, instead of basing what we believe on something outside of us. So we are producing, we're taking in the universal streams, our own personal streams. We are accepting, actualizing, and acknowledging our own personal self-worth. It kind of is like Humpty Dumpty, if you remember that story, getting all put back together again. We're restoring our inner well-being. So take some time to be childlike, play, rest, sleep even, read a book. This really is an inward journey. So this is a day to solicit that inner solitude. So if you feel the call, that is meditation. It's a meditation program offering that I have. And I keep adding meditations to this one. So it is growing, whether you want to meditate about the elementals, if you're new to meditation or you're a novice. So with our throat center online, I really would solicit some solitude and see what messages come in from the universe. Wear blues, look up to the sky, our self-expression channel, and be open to receive the messages, spiritual truths, loving and trusting them, of course, but also asking questions. You always want to source who the messenger is, block the negative energy, because we have this spiritual support and connection today. So really be present in the moment. The moon is in Pisces, so I am highlighting a new space in my natal day today. The degree, by the way, just being open to receive messages from spirit, tuning into the realms. So it really is a great day to get some insight, otherworldly, cultivating the earth plane, do things that are earthy, like nurturing ourselves first and loving and caring, or both, or yourself first, absolutely. So when we start to enjoy the bliss of the earth, the fruits of our labors, the fresh flowers, whatever lights up our heart, what is the gift that we give ourselves that boosts to our highest pleasure, our bliss channel? So we are spiritual beings having a human experience, but being the star that we are, all connected to the core of the galactic universe, the great spirit source, goddess, whatever you want to call it. So can you feel yourself being nourished to your soul, down to your bones, the ancestors and beyond, on all dimensions and realms and levels, whatever that looks like in those streams? But maybe write out what you are worth today. What does your heart desire in the chalice? I would even hum the hum channel, the seed sound, and release that into the earth star. The hum channel is the throat. I have all these in the show notes. You still could bring in fire. I would bring in fire possibly just to warm up the day. But I would also affirm that I am taking the time to open the space of self-love, growing my self-worth. So be nurturing to yourself today. So with all of that, InShalla and Ashe, I'll see you on the other side. And as always, blessings to you and gratitude. Let's just be grateful.